And today we were gonna read Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the Meltdown story, starting from yesterday's the end of page 62 page, and we were gonna start reading on 62 page and the end of reading on the Tuesday story for today. Now, all ready for read this one book with a lot of stories? Now here we go. And first we can read Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the Meltdown story, starting from 62 page, the end of reading on the 70 page. 70 page? Yes. Most of my brain power at school goes on keeping tabs on whose germs are where, and I've already filled up 2 notebooks in this summer. 10 and 3 minutes a.m. Justin T. sneezed on a hand and touched a button on the water fountain. 10 and 21 minutes a.m. Shelby M. coughed on pencil sharpener. 10:23 a.m. Dylan L. didn't wash his hands after using the bathroom. The time it gets tricky is when you have twins, like Jeremy and Jimis and Jorah. I can't tell them apart, and today it looked like to me like one was sick but other wasn't. So I shot a split ball into the sick one's hair to make easier to keep a track of him. The only good thing about being ill is the cherry lozenges Mom gave me. I have a sore throat. I know you're supposed to suck on them real slow, but I chew those like a candy, and I go through a few packs a day. The girls in my grade love the smell of cherry oranges, which almost makes being ill worth it. Unfortunately, the guys in my grade like the smell too. And they're always trying to get me to give them some. A few weeks ago, I thought I felt sore throat coming on, and I brought 3 packs of cherry lonzos to school with me. I keep 1 pack in my pocket and another in my other 2 in my locker. But Jake McGuff sneaked in our packs. I was keeping my locker. And speed bump, I had already picked the lock. I wish I didn't have to go to school at all during the cold flu season. Maybe the day I'll buy one of those big plastic bubbles so I'm not exposed to the other kids' germs. But I'm sure my bubble wasn't the last day before some jerk popped it. Even though I hate being ill, I'm kind of glad they haven't come up with cure for the cold yet. Because if they did, I wouldn't be able to fake being ill and stay home from school to play video games. Cough, I'm not feeling so good. Yeah, right. Today it was even colder on the walk home than it was on the walk to school. And at time me and Roy were fancying the wind, which made it 10 times worse. Chatter, 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 chatter. It was so bad that we had to make a few pit stops on the way home. The first place we dug into was the pizza shop because there's big oven in there, so it's always warm inside. But when the guy who runs the place realized we weren't gonna buy anything, he kicked us out. Our next stop was the town library, and that's a public building, and couldn't tell us to leave, but when the librarian started getting pushy with the books, we left on our own. I wish we'd use a bathroom in the library before we headed back outside, because When we got halfway home, Roy really needed to go. We knocked on few doors, but when people saw us, they pretend they weren't home. We finally we finally got someone to answer, but by that point, Roy's face was so frozen he couldn't even form words. Foo foo woo zoof. By the time we got to the sorry street, I thought Roy was gonna have a medical emergency, but I knew one of the lower sorry street people were gonna let us inside their houses. There is a big rock in Mr. Lee's front yard, and I told Roy we should duck behind it to the businesses. Personally, I didn't even pee outside in this kind of cold because Albert Sandy told us a story about what happened to the guy who did. But I didn't feel like it was just right time to mention that to Roy, and I'm not really sure he had to do number one anyway. Whenever he was doing back there, I was taking forever. Some of the lower Sorry Street kids came out to their houses to play. And before long, Roy had down to a crowd. I just blacked off because I really didn't want people to know I was with him. Woof wuss, woof hoo hoo. Thankfully, Roy wrapped his things up when we got out there before everyone realized what we were doing, because this is just a sort of stupid thing that we could end up sparking a war. Tuesday. Now it's Tuesday story, so it was too short. I will gonna see the chapter. So I can figure it out. Well, I gonna read one more chapter. Oh no, it's too long. So maybe tomorrow we'll be getting a new book. We have read too many times of this book. Or tomorrow we get the chapter. Okay, tomorrow we're gonna get a new book and a new stories. So now I'm gonna tell you the receipt of today's story. We have I love some dirty stories, but I have seen a dirty story today. The pee story. Roy really want to go to the bathroom, and when it was time to go to home from school, Roy Jefferson and Greg Halfley have went to the pizza store and smelled some pizza, but pizza maker didn't want them to just smell the pizza. They need to buy some of them. So pizza maker have put Greg Halfley and Roy Jefferson out from that store. So Roy and Gregley have gone to the library, and librarians were really wanted them to borrow some of the books. But Roy, maybe some boys didn't like some books, so they didn't borrow them because they didn't like some fairy tales that much. And Roy really wanted to go to the bathroom, so Gregley have went to all of the houses and knocked them to borrow some bathroom, but everybody didn't open the door. So Gregley have found some rock, a big rock there. So Roy have peed on there. It was really dirty, but everybody does that. Well, I can understand. And now, did you have fun? You lost English Country. We come back with some new book and new stories for tomorrow. And now, please thumbs up my YouTube, and bye everyone.